Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 8, the season finale of season 2 of The Rings of Power. Let's get ready to jump into this one, guys, because the last episode was tense and action-packed and left us off just as things were heating up. So if you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you're a member of the channel, get you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up the time codes for actually the entire episode. Over there, you get the same thing for all the other shows and movies that we cover on the channel. You also could suggest and vote on movies to react to each month. It's just a great way to support the channel and help us do the things that we do over here. But at the end of the day, I really appreciate and enjoy this reaction. To at least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already, because it really helps these videos out. And with that all said and out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into episode 8, Shadow and Flame. Here we go. Following back up with the dwarves. Yep.
It's the ring. It has him.
Well, I mean, she's okay. At least.
No matter what you hear, do not follow me down that mine.
I really feel like these last 2 episodes, even though it would have been a nightmare as fuck on me to edit and record and all that kind of stuff, but like watching these or even just having them available back to back, oh, feel like that would be some epic shit, man.
Take off the ring! I said take it off! Or I'll take off the whole hand!
You're strong enough to wield an axe, but are you strong enough to use it against your father?
You're not my father.
No, father. You've always been stronger than me. Do you remember when I was a wee lad and we'd arm wrestle? You'd let me lift my hand just enough to think maybe I could win.
Well, maybe he can get through the veil.
And I knew there was nothing stronger than my father. Be strong again, father. Take it off, I beg you.
A dwarf should never beg.
Lovely.
Come and see the true wealth of our mountain.
I mean, there is a shit ton of mithril down there, as we saw in that last shot a little while ago. Oh, whoa. So that is a lot more than we saw. Jesus.
But to see our mountain the way I do, you have to wear a ring.
It's not our mountain, father. You taught me that.
With these rings, it could be.
Wakey, wakey. Oh! Nope, sorry. Bye! There it is, dude. Look at it. Holy shit. Wow. Dude, Balrogs are fucking badass. But it's awoken now. Like, what do you do in the interim? Like, it's just... Oh. He finally took it off. Oh, he's gonna...
Just you getting stronger. Forgive me, my son. King Durin.
Wow. God damn. Well, that resealed the tunnel, it seems. Fuck, and here's the intro. God damn, all of that. was our lead-in, our cold open. My lord, Balrog action. The quake of their colliding of weapons, even though I don't feel like they should have quaked at all. It should have went right through his axe like butter. But the shockwave alone resealed the tunnels for now. But I mean, the thing's awake. So what does that entail? Finally checking back in on our Hourfoot friends. Oh, and Mr. Strange. I see he's not wielding a staff, yet he's here.
Manwë promised you would come.
Oh, well.
I confess my patience.
Oh, there goes all my my thoughts about at least his identity thrown out the window.
You were the one who convinced me to leave the uttermost west for this world, because you knew none of us could ever hope to defeat Sauron alone.
But I was told you wished to ally yourself with Sauron.
You journeyed to Rome, seeking answers, old friend. Follow me, and you shall have them. From past.
I don't know about that.
I did not make the journey alone.
You need not worry. I have seen to it. The small ones are safe. Come.
Are they though? But safe, I guess, is relative.
Said they were not to be harmed. Forgive me, old friend. I thought these nomads might help me find you. I see now I was foolish.
My people were once kings, wizard.
Huh. Was that part of the plan? Or is this a big old part of the deception? Or is it deception? What the fuck is going on?
Dark wizard.
That is a name placed upon me by men long ago out of ignorance and fear of our kind. I hope my actions today will lead you to know better of me.
Feel like this is a manipulation tactic.
This the sort of action you mean?
You pity him whose blade was at your throat.
Yes.
You placed it there.
Pity will not defeat Sauron.
And if you were to defeat Sauron, would that suffice? Or would you seek to become his successor?
We will both be his successors.
Nope.
I would sooner walk this desert forevermore, nameless and forgotten.
Then you give me little choice, old friend.
Oh, whoa.
I only hope losing those you care for most will give you a taste of the suffering all Middle-earth will know. Should Sauron prove victorious? When your senses have returned, I will be waiting.
Oh, wow. Oh. Wait. Is that him, or did Tom come to save the day? Well, there's the constellation. Yeah, I think he held it off, even though he was frozen. I mean, they definitely are doing the Blue Wizard storyline, but I still feel like that they were doing like the duel thing, like a nod, an allusion to that, because it still, to me, feels like it's gotta be Gandalf. And I think they're just making Gandalf a replacement for the Blue Wizards to kind of explore that without needing extra characters in the lore. Who knows? Maybe not.
Why Miriel was able to bewitch the sea.
Oh, god damn it. Shut the fuck up.
An ally who has already bruised Numenor once and is now gathering strength to make us bleed.
You're gonna say she's allied with Sauron.
Sauron?
Wow, you piece of shit.
Are now declared traitors of Westerness.
Dude, I can't wait for these people to suffer the fate they deserve. Wow. Yo, tidal wave, where you at? Yo, yeah, run away from what you've done. Ugh. Only now does she feel bad.
Father.
Oh, come the fuck on.
There's no time to explain. They're coming for you.
There are faithful there. My son and Eärien amongst them. I know a ferryman who can get us outside the city.
She's talking if she's not going.
My place is here.
And where is mine, if not with you?
It is called Narsil.
The White Flame.
Reclaim your lordship, and with this sword, destiny.
Let's go. All right. I can't wait for them to just find out Isildur's just bumbling his way around Middle-earth right now, alive. God, man. I love that this show is at least able to commit to the scale that they've set for a lot of this stuff. Like, whether it bends the lore or not, like I just don't see how you can't be impressed with some of the shit they've done in this series, man. My lord, dude. Oh, wow. Oh, you bastard. Has he just been sitting here popping them into him one at a time? Wow.
Look, what you have done to yourself.
Oh, fuck off.
Tell me where you have hidden the rings, and I will end your suffering now. All I have done has been for you. Yours was the fire that crafted the marvels of the age. I wish only to share them with the world.
The rings are beyond your reach, as I shall be ere long. For soon I shall go to the shores of the morning, borne hence by a wind that you can never follow.
Gotta commend his resilience, man.
There are ways of keeping you alive. Must I show you my mastery of that craft as well?
Your only craft is treachery. So pure it shall betray the very hand that forges it. Hear me!
Oh, wow.
Shadow of Morgoth, hear the dying words of Celebrimbor. The rings of power shall destroy you, and in the end, I foresee one alone shall prove your utter ruin!
Oh, Jesus.
You are wrong. I am their creator. I am their master.
No, you are their prisoner, Sauron, Lord of the Rings. Are you him? Are you Sauron?
I have many names.
It's like his NPC response.
What is yours?
Jeffrey. Oh, this looks like nice and quaint still. Everything's nice and peaceful over here. Be unfortunate if anything happened to that.
How do you live with it?
Had a good healer stitch me up.
I don't think that's what he meant.
I meant about your mum, about it being your fault and all. Wanted to know how you carry it.
Carried it poorly. I didn't realize that until I came here.
Why?
Seems there's grander things here than I thought. Enough to make me realize how small I'd become.
That you have a chance to use the life you have. Do something about it.
Sure you won't come with me?
Like it better being a low man.
I liked it too.
Okay.
I hear you building a home.
Hagen started laying the foundation a few days ago. When he laid the cornerstone, he asked the gods to keep our love strong as long as the home stood.
And it fell.
I'm happy for you.
I always thought his kindness was what love felt like. But when he said it, I felt ill. I felt like...
So I pushed it over. Kinda wish they had a little more like interaction and build up, we had more time with it to let that breathe. Maybe that would have hit a little bit harder. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, she's got like this guy who she was looking for all this time. She finds this pretty dummy, he just kind of struts along, and that all goes away. Guy's out there building a house for her and everything.
It's helped me uphold the agreement we made with your queen.
Agreement's changed.
We no longer have a queen.
Is that coming? Isildur, your sister will be so pleased to hear we found you.
Don't touch him.
I never gave up hope.
No.
Even when everyone said there were no survivors left.
There wouldn't be, if not for Beric.
No.
I trust there's room on the ship.
Plenty.
Then one more should be no trouble.
You should just stay here. Going home's not going to be a fun conversation for anybody.
No passage for low men.
I survived an eruption. My sister's a guild member. My father, post-captain to Queen Regent Miriel. Surely an exception can be made.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. My father is now king, and yours is wanted for treason. It might have been worse. If I'd had it my way, the old fool would be dead.
I saved your life. You missed.
Should I have them slaughter the horse? These people do look hungry.
Dude, fuck this kid.
Aramayo is no longer a colony of Numenor, but a fortress for its soldiers, and I am its commander. Any low man wishing to remain here will deliver a regular allotment of timber from the surrounding forests. But I'm certain that won't be a problem for you. After all, they're only trees.
Oh no. Well, about that. Kind of made an agreement not to touch them.
I accept your terms, Uruk. End this slaughter, and I will do as you asked.
How do you expect to destroy Sauron without your ring? It would seem even wounds that have endured an age can sometimes yet be healed.
Oh.
When last I looked like
Whoa.
this, I was known by another name, a meaningless name, a name I was given. Adar is the name I earned. Take it. Help me vanquish Sauron with it, and I swear to you.
Oh, he immediately went back.
I will recall my children to Mordor, never to make war on Middle-earth again.
I have slain more of your children than any elf alive.
Ian, Absenin, no more flames, no more darkness. Let this ring heal the rift between Elf and Uruk. Let us create.
Gosh, and every time we cut back, it just progresses a little bit more gradually back until he was how he was just earlier, or last episode. That was really well done. That was nice. That was subtle.
What happened?
We found Sauron, Lord Father. He tried to make Luke betray you.
Forgive me, child.
It's too late.
Oh. Well, he was the one kind of backing out. He's like, you keep sending us to our deaths, end on end. Oh, they're doing just to him what they did to Sauron in the opening of the season. Oh, fuck. You slippery little bastard. So easily they are swayed. Wow, same shots now too. Oh, he is gonna eat this up.
They are not children anymore.
A little fucking tick of the lip there, a little twinge, a little muscle spasm, little fucking smirk hiding in there. Everything he was striving and fighting for, undone.
It is even more beautiful than Celebrimbor led me to believe. Give it to me. It is not my wish to harm you.
Do you wish to heal me?
I wish to heal all Middle-earth.
As you have Eärien.
God, man. This place used to be so beautiful. Oh, he's still got his on, though. We focused in on it there. We're coming up to that other shot of the vision.
That is the full record of Celebrimbor's works. The wisdom of all who ever dwelt in this place. Its value is beyond jewels or even blood. Take our lives, but leave it be, I beg you.
Cowardly traitor!
Wow. All that knowledge lost.
Surely you, of all elves, must understand that to find the light, we must first touch the darkness.
We are not alike. We never were. It was just another of your illusions.
Not all of it.
Oh! Oh, okay. Never mind. Thought she yeeted him off of the cliff. Oh, wow. You dickhead. And she's falling right for it, though. Like they said, like, once he's in your head, he can mold your mind to his will.
They could no longer distinguish me from the evil I was fighting.
Wow.
Are they not the seeds you planted?
Seeing somebody fight hand in hand with a sword and a crown is badass. The way he's utilizing it in the combat.
The door is shut.
Oh, Jesus! Forgot they called her Thunderfoot Galadriel. Wow, his composure's broken. He's like, nobody kicks me! Uh-oh. Now there's the cliff.
I would have placed a crown upon your head. I would never have rested till all Middle-earth had been brought to its knees to worship the light of its queen.
The free peoples of Middle-earth will always resist you.
The 9. Yeah.
The rings are mine.
What's that? Durin will come! I guess the Balrog really did just want to go back to sleep.
The prince is in mourning.
No, but he did send his troops. He didn't come, but he did send his troops while he dealt with everything else back in Khazad-dûm.
Galadriel, your ring.
You wish to heal Middle-earth. Heal yourself.
Well,
We are overwhelmed, Lord Sauron. The dwarves are
that just means he
securing
needs
the
to
elves
just
for
go
food.
down there and get
If
it.
we pursue many orders.
Oh! Oh, that's what you get.
These are not merely wounds of the body. A very immortal spirit is being drawn into the Shadow Realm.
Oh. He's gonna use his. And he's gonna see the good that can come from these.
They're losing her.
He's gonna put it on and help.
I cannot save her.
Alone.
We can.
All right, looks like you're gonna have to pack up and find a new place to settle.
Some things lost are lost forever. No matter how hard we fight, how much it hurts, or how much our hearts yearn to put them back together. Because this world's so much bigger than any of us. And sometimes the winds blowing against us are just too strong. At those times, Mr. Burrows said,
Oh, and his vision from the Palantir.
what's broke is broke and won't fix. And all anybody
Oh, and
can
he's
do
got his hammer.
is try and build something new.
Oh, what if his staff is from the tree that they had here, from its shattered remnants?
Thank you kindly, Grandelf.
Grandelf? Or do you mean Gandalf?
Goodbye, Grandelf.
Yep, there it is. There it is.
Grandelf.
They've never seen an elf before, never even left home before. I tried to help them pack, but it's their first migration. They haven't the foggiest wasp to bring.
And ought to leave.
I had my druthers. We'd walk the wastes of this world, eating snails and beetles till the sun ran out of days. But it's high time I walked my path and you walked yours.
No, they're going their separate ways. She's got to go steward them.
We are very different creatures, Nori.
Not so different at all, you ask me.
There it is. It's the one from his vision, too. He's going back to finish his training. And hey, he didn't find his staff in that grove that was put in front of him. He found his own, following his heart. That was the test.
It was all a test, wasn't it? Another one of your riddles.
I'm Tom Bombadil, not Tom Riddle. That's a whole other thing.
A wizard does not find his staff. It finds him.
Just like his name.
Like his name.
Fuck, man! I'm on fucking fire right now. It's
Gandalf.
There it is.
Now let the song begin.
We can finally put it to
Let us
rest.
sing together.
I was right!
Very dull, ring-a-ding-dillo.
It was in fact a hybrid story.
Bees around the willow. Now let the song begin. Let us sing together.
Aww. Next season, Gandalf training arc.
Reeds by the shady pool, lilies on the water.
Still makes me wonder, though, if the Dark Wizard is just some rando wizard to fill that gap also of the counter to the Blue Wizards, there being two. I mean, hell, he presented himself as an ally. They just had different approaches. So he could still be Saruman since he didn't reveal his darkly hand and put all the blame on his little foot soldiers.
Your father's passing has left us in a tangle.
Rumours fly that you are not your father's preferred heir, that some of the other dwarf lords are advancing claims.
Oh, wow.
And your brother seems to be gathering support.
Lovely.
Sauron's armies are roving across Eriador. All Middle-earth is within his reach now, even Lindon. We must decide whether to attack and bring the fight to him, or to fall back to prepare our defenses.
The sword or the shield? I would remember the counsel of our dear friend, Celebrimbor, greatest of elven smiths. It is not strength that overcomes darkness.
Oh, I would love to chill in a spot like that, man. That is just serene.
and the sun yet shines.
I like the one dude just shaking a scroll. Like a full-on one of the big chonky ones, too. Yo, look at that. Yep. Alright, man. We have a little bit of an Empire Strikes Back moment. Eregion has fallen. Numenor is completely, like, taken over by Pharazôn and his cronies now, forcing out any of those that worship the Valar in any sense. Elendil is he's a fucking fugitive at this point, wanted for treason. His daughter finally found some semblance of sense and tried to intervene at least enough to save his ass. And then all of this information just smacking Isildur in the face. Meanwhile, his whole relationship with that woman he met, I completely forgot her name, but like, you know, her husband or her betrothed was out there, her fiance, whatever he is, who's out here. They've been trying to find each other this entire time. He's building a house for them, and she's just like, you know, I've met this pretty dummy of about a couple of days ago. It's kind of hot, not the brightest, but his heart's in a good place. Their relationship is like, it was not fleshed out at all. And I just find that whole thing so funny to me. But he got back on the ship and he's going out back to Numenor. But what is he going to find? How is he going to be received? What's his sister going to do once she realizes he's been alive this entire time? Is him and his father going to cross paths? Is he going to be back over here and still not even know the truth? He's got Narsil in hand as well as he's making his way out of Numenor. Like we last saw, he was trying to get Miriel to come with him to go to this shipwright or this somebody down at the docks that would be able to ferry them away from all of this. So I presume he's going to leave. But then we also have Isildur, again, like I just mentioned, on a boat heading to Numenor. I hate that this is going to happen, but it seems like it's set up that they're just going to be like, whoop, trading places. The stage is basically set for the war with Sauron. You know, he's overthrown Adar. You know, obviously Adar's actions of themselves, like, because he knew what was going to happen. He knew what was going to happen if Sauron got control of the orcs. Any hope of them having a life or being free of their own, whatever, having any kind of autonomy would be non-existent if he came into power. And to him, that was worth sacrificing as many of them as it would take, because death is better than what the future would hold for them. They couldn't see that. They didn't know that. Half of these orcs probably never even saw Sauron themselves or were there to even experience that firsthand. But you know, and that's what happened. Like, they were just seeing their own die. So that one that was ride or die for so long even lost faith in the end. He became the bad guy in his eyes. And then he sided with Sauron and got stabbed in the back either way. He killed his father and died at the end. And everything that Adar had been fighting against and feared has come to fruition. And that whole scene between Adar and Galadriel, I really love that exchange, especially like with the realization of everything that's going on. The ring showing him a glimpse and a feeling of what he used to be like. And just the way that fades immediately after being taken off. Like, there's no prolonged healing there, which the way they represented that, I'm not sure how that's meant to work, because that to me just makes me think that the ring's wonders in general should be temporary. That means, like, to me, I was like, wouldn't the healing they did to Galadriel once they're gone or no longer putting that energy into her body just return her back to that fucking Raggedy Doll corpse that she should be? That little bag of meat and bones that she would have turned into when she jumped off that cliff? I don't know. I'd love some thoughts on that, because that's just immediately where my brain went. I'd imagine the healing would just reset your clock, but maybe that is inaccurate. Because I know eventually the rings are the only reason some of the elven kingdoms we see during the era of the Lord of the Rings films themselves are because of the rings themselves. The only reason those elves still have any level of longevity or sustenance in their cities is because of the ring's influence. And once they do leave, that influence falters, that power falters, that preservation falters. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how all that works. Celebrimbor, man, champion. Like, despite everything that he's been through, to have like the constitution to still not give Sauron what he wants, and Sauron still to be, I don't know how much he believes his own lies to where he's just like, you did this to yourself. At this point, like, the illusion and the hold that he's got over Celebrimbor is completely gone. It's almost like he's telling it to himself, like he needs to believe the lie sometimes, or that sometimes the lies he tells he even thinks are the truth. Like, he lives almost in like a delusion for himself. And I guess that is what he sees as well, because he's like, I'm going to heal the world by doing these things. Galadriel hit him with that. If you're going to heal the world, first heal yourself. And then yeet. Like, some of my favorite bits in this season, hands down, was all of the stuff between Sauron and Celebrimbor. And especially the Durin stuff, the Elrond stuff, those things have always been consistently interesting to me the whole way through. But my God, did this Celebrimbor Sauron stuff take things to a whole other level. I found it so interesting and engaging the entire way through, and I'm almost kind of sad that it's come to an end at this point. So I hope something comes into play that can fill that void, at least in the way that it holds our attention so strongly in the subsequent seasons. I found all of this section, though, this segment of the story, absolutely fascinating. So I do lament that coming to a close, though, but I think a lot of it was so well done, especially just the way they showed just how Sauron operates when he is deceiving, when he is working his magic, when he is bending people's minds and the minds of those around them, just to kind of just torture and torment and manipulate, like people like Celebrimbor, and how everything on the board, while he said, like he said to Galadriel, is like, I don't know where every road goes. I'm just kind of walking my way. But he can navigate those roads to bend them to his will. It's almost as if he's paving his own. It's just fascinating the way they kind of showcased the ways he kind of infiltrated these systems. It's going to be missed. Brutal stuff all throughout this episode. The scale of the battle continuing on. Again, if these were released back to back, if you just watch these back to back, that would be some epic stuff to just watch unfold. I loved seeing all of that. And then the stuff back at Khazad-dûm, the stuff with Durin, King Durin, Durin's father, and the Balrog, him just going ever deeper. But when he finally got to where he was trying to get to, it's almost like the ring stopped compelling him. It was like drawing him towards the Balrog. It was more likely drawing him towards the mithril itself, the true wealth of the mine, because that's what he was probably trying to bring his desires to life. Once he got through that final little bit of rock and we saw all of that mithril, it seemed to kind of loosen its hold on him a little bit. And then, unfortunately, though, it's too late and it woke up the Balrog. But then once the Balrog does show itself and he realized what's happening, he takes the ring off, leaves it behind, and jumps in to hold it back. Though realistically, I don't know how well that would actually work out. I like the idea. I like what it was meant to represent in that moment and what it did for the story. He realizes everything he's done. He's got them this far, and then the only thing he can do is sacrifice himself and be that final wall between this thing, this beast, the darkness, and his son. But that's the thing, like, that fight, I'm sure it's over real quickly. And while the impact of their blades did shatter and reclose that tunnel, I mean, there's not that much of a breach there. I feel like that thing could just like through. I feel like that's a little bit of a loose end that doesn't quite line up or connect with what we should know at this point, but that's me. Maybe somebody shed some light in that maybe I'm not connecting to the moment or whatever. But for me, I'm just like, that thing's just walking around, and I feel like if it knows right there or whatever, knows where to go or the out, I don't know. It was asleep, I assume, right? It's just, or is it always just walking around down here? And if that is the case, what's keeping it from ascending outside of the rock, the mountain itself? But that's been breached. That's been weakened. Maybe it's just a ticking clock. Maybe the impact of that has crumbled it and it just set it back enough to where it's not going to come back for many a year later. I probably shouldn't be overthinking that bit so much, but now the kingdom is left under Durin now, and he, like, apparently with his father's gone, like, people are just like, even his own brother, like some of the other lords are like, well, maybe he shouldn't rise to be king. Maybe I should. So we got some of that going on. He's still got all of the dwarven rings as well. Those haven't been distributed. So how are we going to get to the point where he ends up doing that himself as well? After resolving the stuff with his father, he did come out with his army. Maybe not himself because of what was going on, but he did at least send them to give them support in Eregion. So they came in right at the end as things were getting bleak as all hell and saved the day and helped the little bit that were still fighting survive and make it through the fight. Again, I love the production value of the show. I love the way they kind of build out the fantastical, both like with the cities themselves and the nature. Because I don't know how many of these places, these locations are real places, or how many of them are completely fabricated to be these hyper elevated fantasy kind of settings, but there's some beautiful ass scenery all throughout this that I just love to see. And again, the scale of this battle, this siege, this war, the onslaught, the brutality of it, the deaths, the fighting, all of that, like there's some good high quality production value that goes into the show. And I just like, no matter what you think about some of the acting, the scenes, the pacing and stuff like that, I just feel like there's some things about this show that deserve the praise, no matter how you feel about it. I don't see how like it goes unnoticed in some eyes, man. I just really can't get around that. Again, I talked about this a little bit during the reaction. I love the fight with Galadriel and Sauron on the mountaintop. In idea, in execution, it was a little weak, but I like the concept of the fight so much, mostly just because of the use of the crown and the sword in tandem as dual weapons, and then him using the crown as a weapon, and the way he would utilize that to like link and lock their swords in certain situations. There was a lot of creativity in that fight. Just the fight wasn't executed all that well. But that's like the minorest of minor things throughout this entire episode to me. The Harfoots, you know, they're going their separate ways. You know, the Dark Wizard showed up, and, you know, this little legion of kind of his little bandits or whatever that he's had, his foot soldiers, his minions that have been going out and doing his works, his deeds and all this stuff over this time. He made them the patsies for this. He's like, hey, that's not what I told them to do. I thought they would help me. These humble little guys or whatever roaming around. I thought they were upstanding citizens. Tried to play that angle to try to befriend Gandalf. And I'm like that we can call him Gandalf now. And he got that idea from them calling him Grand Elf, because they didn't know what else to call him. They never seen an elf. They never seen a human. That's whatever. So that's just what they started to call him. These things found him. And that tree at the center where they buried their own in the center of this little Stour city, the branches of which is what formed his staff. Again, that connection was just so ingrained with him and the hobbits that it was like, it just would make no sense to do all of that and it not be Gandalf. Now that we know that this is Gandalf, it just makes me wonder who the Dark Wizard really is, because he evokes that image of Saruman so clearly in the way that he's designed, but the way that he, you know, after that whole little song and dance, you know, that he puts on about, you know, trying to be like, hey, I'm not actually this Dark Wizard. That's just some ignorant name people put upon me. I'm here to stop Sauron and all that as well. But of course, because we had that conversation with Tom, Gandalf is like, I heard you actually want to ally yourself with Sauron. And he's like, no, I just want to make sure that he falls, because we can't do it, you know, alone. And he's like, well, okay, what happens after? We rule. And even if he is not Saruman himself, he is that vehicle. He is fitting that role, filling that void. Maybe when he falls, if he does during this era, Saruman comes in and just takes his place. Or, like he did, kind of put on these airs here, like many people like to bring to the table when they're talking about Sauron, is like, you don't understand what he's going to bring to this. We can't pussyfoot around this or treat this like with these kitty gloves. We're going to have to make some difficult decisions if we want to take him down, because he is a threat unlike any other in this world that this age is not prepared to deal with. So this whole display could be this like kind of tough love kind of thing that he forces upon Gandalf to kind of try to get him to see eye to eye. And maybe over the years, if he is Saruman, they work past that to the point where, you know, after he does fall here and there is this age of peace until his later return, maybe he doesn't feel the need to pursue these aims. He takes a place on the council, blah, 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 blah. Or he gets felled during this series before any of that happens, and Saruman just comes in later and fills that gap, therefore still falling in place with Tom Bombadil's predictions. I'm like 50-50 on whether or not this is actually going to be Saruman. Like, had this not been Gandalf, I'd be a little less inclined to believe so, but there is that duality between the two, and he is the more experienced wizard, so if Gandalf, being the kind of rogue wizard that he is, kind of does his thing for these remainder of years, travels, does his wizard training with Tom or whatever, the Dark Wizard, as all this is going on, could continue to grow in power and maybe even move back towards central Middle-earth where we were used to seeing them, or not. I don't know. He could just be some random-ass wizard, and Saruman just hasn't arrived on Middle-earth yet. Because like I said, this is more designed around like setting this up and adapting it in a way that it coalesces with the lore that we know in the films more than the books themselves, and even the fact that they still really can't dive into a lot of the Silmarillion stuff at all. So I think this was like their nod towards it. Not blue, but two wizards out in Rune end up being the major players so that we can do kind of that storyline without breaching any kind of legality issues. Simplify it to a point where it's the wizards that we are familiar with, blah, 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 move it on. But him getting his name, getting his staff, going back to continue with Wizard Yoda, to figure out how to, harness these energies. That stuff's fun. But then him, like with everything that happened here with their home being destroyed, they now have to hit the road, as they heard in their legends of those before. And, and they don't know how to do that. So Nori is going to break away from Gandalf to help them on the road and do their thing. So it makes me wonder if we're going to follow them or continue that storyline at all, or just they're going to set that up to where eventually we know they find a place, they settle, they find that place in the legends that becomes the Shire. Gandalf just goes on to do Gandalf things, and maybe eventually reunites with them eventually in the home that they find them for themselves. But it just makes me wonder if the next 2-3 seasons, if we continue to follow Nori and Poppy at all. I'm curious about that. This was fun. I really enjoyed this. This season was significantly better than the last. Like, almost in every way, shape, or form. Again, it's not without a couple of faults here and there. Even the weaker storylines still had something behind them to kind of give them some kind of agency that I really enjoyed. Like, there's a lot of interesting stuff that even some of the storylines, again, that I wasn't that fascinated with or entrenched in, still had some fun stuff, or things that just set up for later that we can explore in just other ways. What'd you guys think? How do you feel? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We're carrying the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you're coming here on the channel, get you access as well. And speaking of before you go, I want to shout out our channel legends. Manny Sherritt, York Korskov, Robert Anguiano, Jeffrey L, Jake Cottrell, Eric Official, Casey Wood, Russell Crockett, and Sam Oyer. Thank you guys so much for continued support. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.